Unfortunately, even against popular demand, I'm actually not going to do this intro in Japanese. My language expertise stops in Chinese, so we're not even going to try it. But boy, we have our last race for about a month, and it's a pretty good one. Welcome back to the 305K. It is time for race three of the F1 season, and the last race for a decent amount of time because we have a couple races canceled. It's just good to get into the weekend.
Yeah, I feel it's been a long like couple weeks for me. I have spring break
Jackson's
coming up.
working on fumes right now. He's coming off a rough tennis match, so
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
we there's a lot going on here. But it's important to get into the F1 here. Um,
yeah.
this is
Another
a
late
track that'll be
race.
interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to me. I'm kind of curious because last year, we didn't have active air like we do this year. And this track only has one DRS zone, which made it kind of difficult for overtaking overall. It's always kind of difficult to overtake. But I think this year with active air, we might see more overtakes going into 130R, maybe going into that last chicane, or even going to the couple corners before the back straight, which
Yeah,
have a little bit of time before them. It'll be interesting to see how aero kind of affects overtake.
yeah. It's you mentioned it. It's a hard track to overtake, and it's kind of proven that way. But it's also an iconic circuit and like one that you can never get rid of. Suzuka is
Yeah,
awesome.
of course.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. You got cherry blossoms surrounding the track. You have
hmm
great liveries. It's a
hmm
shame Red Bull's not
Well,
bringing a white livery. Well,
some
yeah,
great liveries.
some great liveries. Mercedes's livery is just about the worst livery I've seen since watching F1. I don't think there's a like another way to put it.
It's like they're trying to be. I mean, it's like literally furry costumes. It's unbelievable. I don't know who got the lead with that design, but it was kind of
They need
unbelievable. I
fire. They
mean,
need to be fired.
they
Um,
do need to be fired. I'm surprised they just don't have the drivers going out with like you know bear gloves on or something like that. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, V Carb has actually I was about to say there's no white livery from Red Bull, but there's their younger team, or I don't know what
Junior
I want to
team, yeah.
call V Carb. V Carb, they have a fantastic livery.
hmm
They like to bring white liveries to Japan. Or I guess I say white. I mean they brought Red Bull brought their iconic white one to Turkey for the first time and then brought it back last year. And then V Carb's
Yeah.
bringing one this year. Haas has a nice livery. And I mean, we keep talking about the design of the cars. It doesn't really matter what they look like so long as they go fast. Maybe the
Yeah.
Aston could
I
get a
am.
little upgrade just so it looks a bit better when it's that slow of a car.
I am like in the back of my mind hoping that maybe the Mercedes is like so ugly that there's divine intervention. Ferrari can win a race here. I mean, I'm like fully resorted to fate to root against Mercedes right now, which is something that I wasn't expecting so early in the season. Um, I will say that it does seem like there's those top two teams that we've talked about every week. I kind of sound like a broken record saying this, but it feels like those two teams, Mercedes, Ferrari, are going to be fighting for the race win, fighting for a pole on Saturday. It'll be interesting to see how this track kind of plays into both of those cars because we're still early on. Like every track kind of brings something unique to the cars, and we'll see different teams kind of benefiting and struggling with the different corners, different speeds, whatever.
Yeah, I think I don't even know when we'll get to be like, oh, well, we've kind of seen like these early races,
Yeah,
we've seen nothing. The one guy that I think we should bring up who won this race last year but has had a pretty slow start to the year is Max Verstappen. Um,
hmm
what are you thinking about him?
um,
Or
that's
are
a
we gonna
very
see that
broad
later?
question. Like romantically or just in general?
For this coming up race.
Yes. So Max is obviously in a weird spot. We've kind of talked about it. Last year you talked about it actually kind of early, which I wasn't even thinking about it last year, but he doesn't have this kind of like great will to race, I guess. He's just
Yeah.
really good at it. It's kind of like, Alyssa Liu's story with the Olympics where she like quit
Yeah.
after her first Olympics because she was like too pressured into it
Bored.
by her parents, what like by coaches, whatever. Max just doesn't seem like he likes racing F1. Um, which is a shame because he's the best guy in the grid right now.
Yeah.
And obviously that car is terrible under him. So it's really looking like, he's not enjoying the sport. Maybe he was going to get a little bit of help mentally with his race this weekend that was not F1. Got disqualified. Not great. So I think that he's in an interesting spot. And looking at the China weekend, it's kind of easy to say that Red Bull car looks terrible. It looks like there's nothing with it. It looks like it's miles behind the other front runners. And I kind of hesitate to go along with that because they looked there in Melbourne. So I kind of think that it'll be race to race for them. I don't think that they're going to fight with Ferrari or Mercedes, but I think that they could be competitive with McLaren and maybe sneak up, have a couple top fives early on the season as we start to develop the cars more. I think it's not, you can't write them off quite yet.
Yeah, I think I saw they're bringing a mini upgrade package as well. So we'll see
Hmm.
what that does for him. And I think we said it a couple of times last year. You can never count out Max Verstappen. I think that's what we've kind of learned. Like, he was what 100 points
Yeah,
down
of
at the
course.
summer break last year, and he comes back and almost
Yeah.
wins, which was
Well, we
unprecedented.
had
But
like,
it's Max Verstappen.
yeah, we had about a 2 minute video of just the amount of times that we said Max is out of it from last year before he came back. So I fully agree with you there. Um, Another thing to note is that I think Ferrari are bringing the Macarena wing again, and I'm kind of once bitten, twice shy about talking about it because we talked about it a lot
Yeah,
for China, and then they never end up using it. I'm interested to see how this develops because the issues with it are kind of glaring. In practice, the incidents that they had were pretty bad.
yeah,
The wing closed at a different speed from the front wing. The rear wing's kind of slower as the
yeah.
front wing kind of snaps. So it's kind of tough on the drivers where you have this really weird imbalance of downforce between the front and the back that Lewis kind of struggled with. I think Leclerc struggled a little bit with. I think there's still work to be done there, but I'm encouraged by the fact that they're not just binning it, where they're trying to develop it so that it could work. And I kind of doubt that they'll use it this weekend, but maybe down the line later this season, we'll see it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see it at some point. It just looks like if it's like working, it's too good of a development for it to not be on the car.
Yeah. And, I kind of look really down the line. Maybe it'll develop right into Monza nicely. But
Oh
that's,
man, that'd be
very
huge.
speculative. So
Yeah,
I don't want to
that
get into that. But
we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Is there any team lower that we feel like we need to? I mean, Aston's just well. I made a quick comment in the end of last episode. They do have a new team principal, Jonathan Wheatley. Obviously not new to F1 because he's been the team principal of another team this season.
yeah,
So,
Audi.
you have any comment on that? Because you weren't obviously part of that.
Yeah. My comment is just like that was the issue. You know what I mean? It was a seat height the
Yeah,
whole time. Like I don't think that that was I don't think that was the like
the
main
seat
issue
height
with this
really.
team.
So
Was
now,
it
now,
really?
now
Yeah.
you're gonna figure it out. Uh,
um Quiplash Miles Teller, for those who don't get the reference, but I think it's
Whiplash is.
I, I just I just think that like it's a weird move for Wheatley to make. And obviously I think we can agree that Aston might have a higher ceiling than Audi, like right now. But I don't feel like I would want to bank on that, especially as this like nice guy, like super
Yeah.
excited, kind dude that we kind of got to know him as. Like making that lateral move is kind of weird.
I mean, Aston kind of has more resources at their disposal with Lawrence Stroll. I looked up his net worth; it's somewhere in like the crazy billion.
Hmm.
It's actually unbelievable. But it's, I don't know. I feel like we should go into our predictions. We got surprise points
Yep.
first. Let me hear what you got.
So I have someone who I went for once last year, and it was an awful pick last year. But the car's in the window right now, and I think he has a decent chance to get a good point scoring position. So I went Franco Colapinto.
Oh, okay. Um, Tucker's. I mean, I'm gonna keep this part in. Tucker's just, he's coming off a little illness. I don't know if he got it whenever we had dinner the other day, but surprise points. I'm gonna go with his teammate Pierre Gasly. He did have like terrible finish here last year. He wasn't in the points, but I feel like he's kind of been in the points earlier this year. So I feel like if the Red Bulls are kind of having the same issues and potentially don't finish in the points as well, then there could be a spot for Pierre's Alpine.
Yeah, I think that, we're both going Alpine, which is interesting. See how the teammate kind of rivalry shapes up.
Yeah, we'll see. What big flop? I'll go because you said you want to do it on the fly. Again, I had a horrible tennis match today, and I'm like really upset, so I'm trying to just unleash my anger on my big flop. Lance Stroll, and we've kind of made the clarification that he has to have like a physical DNF or something for him to get counted for this because that Aston just might not finish, plain and simple, because it's terrible. So a lot of these are judgment calls. So we'll judge it and then see, and I guess tell you guys if anything happens in the review what we judged it as.
Um,
Jeez. So Tucker, what you got for big flop?
Yeah, right now I'm kind of battling with illness. This is a little bit of a Jordan flu game performance going on, but
We got to see how these predictions go. Don't get ahead of yourself.
um, big flop is kind of tough, and I think this is a track that's going to be heavy on qualifying performance. It's going to be really important to do well in qualifying, and something inside me is telling me that Carlos Sainz is going to have a rough qualifying. I don't know
I
what it
almost
is,
went for
but I'm taking him as my big flop. I think he's going to struggle in this race. The Williams hasn't looked great, and I think it's going to kind of manifest again in Suzuka.
I like that pick. I almost went Carlos Sainz, but I couldn't. I don't know why I couldn't bring myself to it. Bold prediction.
Yeah, my bold prediction is related to DNFs as usual. However, I actually think this is a good bold prediction because obviously there are going to be DNFs. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. My prediction is that there are only going to be mechanical DNFs in this race.
Interesting. Okay, I like that. That's bold. I feel like there might be a
Yeah,
crash.
especially because I think I might lose it into turn one, but we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, so long as no one does a Jack doing and just goes absolutely flying into the barriers, maybe you'll be safe there. Um,
Hmm.
I actually really like my bold prediction this week. I think you will. Actually, I don't know if you'll like it, but I think Kim Kardashian is going to be seen on TV in the paddock.
Oh, oh,
So,
come on. That's a layup. That's like Taylor Swift in a Chiefskin. That's such a layup.
well, we haven't seen her yet. So,
That's
I
true.
mean, granted, she's in Japan, so I have a feeling she'll be. The question is, will they say Lewis Hamilton's partner or Lewis Hamilton's friend? Like, what are they gonna
I'm
say?
guessing partner.
That's
I
my
mean,
guess
got to be at
too.
this point.
Oh, yeah, that's. I think it's a good bold prediction. I guess I'll take pole. If we'll go from bold to pole. I got George Russell finishing on pole. I'm just keeping it with the Mercedes, and I just stole his pick like normal. Um, the Mercedes has just been fast, and I think George is gonna have another good weekend. So I'm gonna take him. And now we're gonna have an on the fly pole prediction from Tucker.
Give me Charles Leclerc. I mean, come on. Too easy. Too easy if you give me the chance.
I don't
Last year
think
we had a poll that was unexpected and driven by a really great driver and Max Verstappen, kind of out of the blue. This year it's going to be Charles Leclerc does the same thing.
I like it. I like it. P3. Who you got?
P3, I've Andrea, Kimi, Antonelli.
The full government name. Wow. Okay.
I really like him, and I think he's done. He's driven it well. I think he'll find another podium here. I just don't. I want to put two Ferraris, but I don't think I can feasibly put two Ferraris on the podium.
Yeah, I think that's probably the smart decision. P3, I got Charles Leclerc. I think he'll have a good weekend. I think it'll be, if not him, probably Lewis. But I got Leclerc finishing P3.
Shoot, that does make things harder for me. Um,
Why?
I'll go Charles Leclerc P2. How about that?
Oh my gosh.
Obviously
All right,
I
because I
love
know
Charles,
exactly where
but
you're going. I know
I'm going a little bit
exactly
of
where you're going.
gamesmanship here.
Okay, so I'm gonna go P2, George Russell, because I have a feeling I know who's gonna
Hmm.
win your race. I think George is gonna have a great weekend, but I can't predict him because I think I know where it's gonna be, and I can't not have
Yeah,
both the Mercedes on my podium. So I'm going George Russell. And I'll take
it's a good thing you
P1.
went George Russell.
Yeah, it is. I'm
Hmm.
gonna go
Go ahead.
P1. I got Kimi Antonelli winning this race and continuing his streak after China. I think it's Mercedes 1-2 for the time being. For now, maybe Charles Leclerc can screw that.
Hmm.
Maybe Lewis Hamilton. He's acting like a samurai today. Maybe he can do
Oh my
something.
gosh, I saw that on
You
Instagram.
see
What is
that?
he doing? Who is he feeling like? I mean, he's like all over
Dude,
the place on Instagram right now. He's like commenting in Kim Kardashian's, comments with like a heart face. He's like posting these videos of him running where it's like deep breathing, where he's like sitting there grunting. And now he's posting photos where he's like fighting with samurai swords and like thank you to the dojo for letting me in again. I'm like, dude, where are we going? Just drive the car. You know what I mean? I
he's
mean,
like
maybe it's working.
he's
He's
like
been better than
Drewski. He's just
last year.
never where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, like what does he do? What is he doing all week?
All right,
Anyways, you
P1.
you read my gamesmanship well. P1, I have George Russell. I was hoping that you were gonna go Kimmy P2, and I was gonna kind of goad you into having George Russell off your podium. So
You kind
I
of
have George P1.
yeah. It's
I
gonna
think
be
he's I
good.
think he's the clear favorite. It's like Lando and Piastri last year
Yeah.
in the first half where they were clearly ahead. It's like Max the year before and the year before that. So I just think the time is now to pick George Russell to win the race.
Yep. We're trying to stack up the early season points when it might be pretty predictable.
Hmm.
We'll see how this weekend goes. It should be a good race. Suzuka is always fun and it provides for good
Yep.
racing. Hopefully more overtakes this year, which we'll see.
A little bit of yo-yo racing never hurt anyone. So it'll be nice to see some high battery power overtakes in weird spots.
Yep. I mean that's all I got.
Well, and it's thank you all for watching. Jackson and I are both kind of rehabbing right now, physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
So
We'll
thank
be
you all
back
for
strong for
watching,
the
and
review.
we'll see you next time.